You ever outgrow someone you still love? Not because they hurt you, but because you finally stopped abandoning yourself. This isn't about drama. It's about the quiet kind of grief, the kind that shows up when you grow and then realize some friendships were built only on a version of you that doesn't even exist anymore. They were good friends until I started loving myself. Not all friendships are meant to last. Some end in drama, but most, they just sort of fade away. No one teaches you how to grieve those quiet losses. There's, no big fight, no clear betrayal, just distance. One day you're always together, and the next you're texting out of habit, and then all of a sudden, poof, nothing. Maybe it was at brunch. You laughed, took selfies, but felt alone. Like you were performing a closeness that didn't really feel true anymore. Here's the tough truth. When you grow, some people, they don't grow with you. It's not because they're bad or toxic. It's just that your healing broke the tune that you two used to share. You stop people pleasing, you say no, you set boundaries, you speak up, and suddenly they don't know how to meet you because you're so different. They like the version of you who shrunk to fit, quiet, small, always keeping the peace, but she's gone now. So who's left? Someone who loves herself enough not to perform for closeness, and someone who realizes you can outgrow people that you still love. This one's for anyone feeling guilty for letting go, for those grieving friendships that didn't hurt them but didn't grow with them. The quiet grief that comes with growth. Nobody tells you this part. Self-love often comes with loss. Not the screaming, slamming type. It's a quiet kind. You feel it when the group chat goes silent, when you send a meme and no one reacts, when you show up with full joy and it lands flat. Things shift, but no one really calls it out. It's not rejection, it's misalignment. Your light used to match theirs. Now you stop dimming, and then that changes everything. Grief doesn't always crash in. Sometimes it just whispers, hey, this chapter is over, but you didn't even notice, FYI. It hurts. That ache when you realize the closest ended without an explosion or fanfare. You scroll past your birthday, you pause before you reach out because, something changed. And that grief, it's real. It's for them. And also for the version of you who still needed them. You get to love what you had in the past, honor that sweet season of friendship, and move forward, not with anger, but with becoming and with love. Why some friendships are meant to end. The way I see it, some people, they are soul assignments, not soulmates. They show up at just the right time and they'll help you remember your light. They walk with you through chaos, heartbreak, and confusion. They matter at the time, but they may not stay. And that doesn't mean it's fake. It just makes the friendship, I guess, complete. Friendship isn't always forever, and sometimes it's just a chapter. That's it. When we try to force forever when we are growing, we end up shrinking ourselves. We end ourselves, we perform, we make ourselves digestible just so we can stay. But you don't have to keep shrinking to keep fitting in. You can say, this chapter was sacred, but I've turned the page. And yeah, there might be a quiet period, but that's not punishment. It's actually space to breathe. Growth sometimes asks us to walk alone, and it's not forever, just until your frequency calls in the people who get the real you. The shift that hurts but heals. You feel it coming, that misalignment. It's subtle, just undeniable. They love the version of you who overgave, who stayed an hour late to help them pack, who said yes to the girls' trip even though you were burnt out. That version, she isn't here anymore. Now, you choose rest over obligation, silence over performance, and boundaries over burnout. That shift, though, it changes the game, it changes the dynamic. They might say, you're distant, you've changed. And they're not wrong because you have. Because self-love looks a little bit different. It's about respect for yourself. And you don't respond out of guilt anymore. You don't chase closeness that costs you. And yeah, it's sort of lonely at first because love used to mean proving yourself, performing, pleasing. But now it means alignment, mutuality, and peace. Some will call it cold, ego, rebellion. But you'll know it's clarity, a coming home to yourself. Letting go without bitterness. You don't need a villain, you don't need a dramatic exit, and you don't need a reason that makes sense out loud. You just need to listen to yourself, listen to your gut, your intuition, that deep knowing when you stop reaching, that exhale after silence. That's clarity. And letting go doesn't have to be messy, it can also be soft, sacred, graceful attitude. Say, thank you for who you were to me, and actually mean it, even as you softly close the door with love. That's not weakness, it's strength with softness. You don't have to block, blast, or bash. You don't have to carry them forward either. True closure, sometimes it just starts when you whisper to yourself, I'm free now. You're not cold, you're clear. They'll say you've changed, that you're distant, that you're different. They're not wrong. You are different now. And you stopped abandoning yourself for approval and you stopped over explaining. Stopped softening your truth. That's not cold, that's clear. And you're no longer available for draining dynamics. You won't shrink to stay close. And yes, some will misunderstand. They'll miss the old you who performed for peace. But you're here to be you. True, aligned, in peace. Their misunderstanding, that's on them. Your evolution, not an apology, it's a ceremony. Let it be sacred. Some friendships come to teach, not to last. They're chapters, lessons, or mirrors. And when it ends, you don't need drama. You don't need proof of hurt. You can just feel like it's done and that's enough. And you're not wrong for evolving, not heartless for choosing peace, and not selfish for loving yourself more gently and fiercely. Closure doesn't always come from talking. Sometimes it comes in a quiet choice to keep walking, to bless what was, and move forward. You can still love them and still let go. Honor who they were, but step into her, the woman you're becoming. Let it be soft, sacred, a release, not a rupture. If you've never had that goodbye, say it now. Say it for you, say it for them, for the part that stayed too long out of love. If this video felt like waking up your own story, there's more healing here on this channel. Click on one of these two to keep choosing yourself gently.